Welcome back to The Outsider's Perspective. My name is Ollie, and yes, I have a fresh loaf of bread right out of the oven here for you today. Today's words of wisdom come to us from James Allen, and he writes, "You are always the master, even in your weakest and most abandoned state. But in your weakness and degradation, you are a foolish master who misgoverns her household. When you begin to reflect upon your condition and search diligently for the law upon which your being is established, you then become the wise master, directing your energies with intelligence and fashioning your thoughts to fruitful issues. Such is the conscious master, and you can only thus become by discovering within yourself the laws of thought. This discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience." Back again with some more James Allen, following up on the previous video where he talked about this beautiful truth, which is that you are the master of thought, and as such, the maker and shaper of every condition of your environment and of your destiny. Now, he goes on to elaborate a little bit more about this role that you can play in your own life, right? He says that you're always the master, even when you're not living well, even when you're doing things you shouldn't be doing. But when you're living in your weakness and degradation, you're a foolish master. You're not governing your household properly. The only way to rectify this, he says, is to reflect upon your condition and search diligently for the law upon which your being is established. Whew. Do you know that law? I'm not saying that I know it. I certainly don't know your law. But I understand what James Allen is talking about here. You need to dig down deep and get to the core values, the core motives, the very basic things that drive you as a person. You have to find the law upon which your being was established. And then you can start to behave wisely and to become, again, the master of this household, right? The spirit, psyche, mind, and heart household. When you become the wise master, or even on your way to becoming the wise master, as you begin to reflect, as you begin to search for this law upon which your being was established, you will notice that you can direct your energies with intelligence, and you can actually choose your thoughts, and you can choose the thoughts that are fruitful, the thoughts that are helpful, right? That produce some benefit. Because a thought can be true, and at the same time, it can be utterly useless, or worse, it can be true and detrimental. There are aspects of truth, and really what you're looking at when you are having a thought that is true but detrimental or unhelpful is you're looking at an aspect of truth. Yes, it's true that this situation was mighty inconvenient. That's one aspect of that situation. And if you choose to look at only that aspect, then that's the truth that you're going to experience. What James Allen and Marcus Aurelius and many, many others recommend us to do is to become the deliberate deciders of how we look at things. What aspect of truth are we fixating on? And can we look at more than one aspect at the same time? Can we step back far enough to see all aspects at the same time and see that the negative and the positive balance each other out? Such is the conscious master, Allen says, and a person can only thus become by discovering within themselves the laws of thought. So again, we come back to this idea that the linchpin, if you will, the first and most important step is understanding and then mastering your thoughts. And maybe mastering is not the best word for it. Instead of mastering your thoughts, it's harnessing your thoughts. Because involuntary thoughts will still arise, but if you have harnessed the power of thinking, you know how to redirect those types of thoughts and those streams of thought, when you start to experience the sort of negativity spiral, you know that you can redirect that and you can avert the full crash, right? You can pull yourself out of it, not by actually pulling, but just by redirecting that energy. So again, the idea, as reflected in the book's title, As a Man Thinketh, right? As a man thinketh, so is he. This is kind of like the core central thesis to James Allen's work, that it all stems from thinking, and that this is where we can get involved, right? Maybe we can't change external circumstances, emotions, certainly when they arise in us, it's a done deal. It's a neurochemical reaction. But the thoughts, that we can get involved with, that we do have the potential to change. And so I think that's where James Allen and to some extent, the Stoics and cognitive behavioral therapy, all of that is resting on this idea that thinking is one of the few things you actually can change. And when you change your thinking, it changes everything else. Anywho, some food for thought for you. Some food for your soul. I don't know. Hopefully, it fills you up for a couple hours. Drink more water. Then you won't be so damn hungry. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you next time.